It was Scott Steiner.
It was Sid Vicious.
It was Scott Steiner.
It was Sid Vicious.
It was Scott Steiner.
Bet money.
Bet money. It was Scott Steiner. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fighting Couch Potatoes. I'm Liquid Gold Steve, and I'm here with the mean green Kadawfi Crush.
And I got 2 words for you.
And the big and tall MattMatt.
Suck it!
Was I?
Go ahead, Steve. Break the promo.
Let me tell you something, brother. Today we're talking about wrestling.
I was, but
Do it. Do it to him. Do it to him, Mean Gene. Tell him.
Listen here, Mean Gene. Tonight we have a 3-on-1 handicap match against the topic of anime wrestling versus real wrestling. And we're going to break it down 1, 2, 3. No one comes out of this alive. We've got this. It's Liquid Gold Steve on the mic with Kadawfi Crush and MattMatt. All right, everybody, we ready for this?
I think we need another take on that, gentlemen.
That was awesome. You really pulled that shit out.
I thought you was about to do the whole thing, just fucking, that's the bottom line, because Liquid Gold said so.
Oh, man, that was awesome.
I could do the promo over again.
But no, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the whole episode.
Us doing the promos and stuff.
All right, let's get to it. I'm probably going to have a lot because, I told Kadawfi, I told MattMatt, I love all the topics that we've done so far, but this shit is my bread and butter. I have grown up on real wrestling, but I got into anime wrestling. So, this is a childhood topic for me. This is nostalgia. This is awesome.
Hell, wrestling's the reason we're gamers.
Yeah, we started out with wrestling games.
Wrestling is the gateway game, huh?
Yeah, it is.
It must be. It's like the gateway drug. All right. So I wanted to ask the first question. This is me in real wrestling, because I don't know about promos in anime wrestling. If they have a specific catchphrase, I don't know, because I don't think Tiger Mask, and that's the real thing for me, is just Tiger Mask, because I didn't watch Ultimate Muscle. Bad guys from outer space, ultimate muscle.
Here to body slam the human. Anyway.
All right. So, Kadawfi Crush. Favorite promo or favorite catchphrase from a wrestler, old or new?
You talking about real life?
Real life.
Oh, man. Real life? Razor Ramon. Because I'm the bad guy.
You're the bad guy?
He throw the toothpick at you. He was so cool. They had to bring him back as Carlito Cool.
They did have to
He was the same dude. They did some of the same, the apple, biting into the fruit and spitting it on somebody. Razor did that first.
Yeah,
straight up. They had to use him twice, bruh.
Because Scott Hall had to go to WCW. That's all it was.
That was much later when they brought Carlito Cool out.
Yeah. It was 2004, 2005. All right, MattMatt. So, what is your favorite promo or favorite catchphrase in real wrestling?
You mean promo?
Promo or real catchphrase?
My favorite promo is Scott Steiner with fucking Samoa Joe. When he was trying to break down the math, he said, you look at me and you look at Samoa Joe and you can see that statement is not true. See, the 3-way sacrifice, you got 33 and third chance, and I got 66 and 2/3 chance. You put them together.
So, Steve, what is your favorite promo from all of wrestling?
All of wrestling.
It doesn't matter what your favorite promo is. I just need to do that. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I need to do that. That hurts.
It's all right. Ultimate Muscle is all right too. But probably, honestly, there's a lot. I have at least 5 that could probably come to the top of my head. But one of my favorites, is Sid Vicious in WCW, messing up his promo, thinking that it's not live, and then breaking character and saying,
Let's do it again.
All right.
Or hold on. I got
one for you for real.
Or when The Rock buried stone cold. We're here today.
Dearly trailer park trash.
Oh man.
Here to bury the biggest piece of monkey crap.
He just talk that serious shit.
Yeah, for real.
Like,
Unnecessary.
One of my favorite ones, and I actually only saw this one later in life, like way after the shit premiered, was Booker T when he called Hogan.
The N-word? Yeah.
They know the N-word. I can say this, and I don't care. You can bleep me out if you want to, producer woman, but I'm going to say this. When he was like, Hogan, we coming for you, and then had to turn his head.
Look
He had to turn his head away. And you just knew he fucked up. And Mean G was cool as fuck to take over the conversation. Like, oh shit, let me move the camera.
Back to you, folks.
What about like Macho Man with the damn the coffee creamer?
The cream of the crop.
Dude, he kept pulling the shit out and just kept tossing it down.
He kept dropping it.
He was right.
It was like sleight of hand. He was like, cream of the crop. Cream of the crop.
To the top.
Like, how long did he sit there and practice to get that shit?
Do you think Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, and Randy Savage blew a line before they ever got on the mic?
All the time.
Like, they were just red faced, ready to go.
Bro, Ultimate Warrior, like, his promos went something like this. We're going to travel to the Valley of the Rainbows, eat an oyster, and then we're going to climb the trees into the ocean, and then we're going to dance around the rings of Jupiter, and then we're going to take you right on down.
Motherfuckers behind
Somebody
the
give me a tissue paper because my Milky Way is bleeding green. Hey, what the fuck are you talking about?
Hey, everybody behind the fucking camera just like, yeah, Warrior, fucking tell them, man. you got it.
Damn.
Someone get Warrior a fucking tissue. His nose is bleeding.
Damn, I feel like I could probably be in the 80s.
You could have been an 80s wrestler.
Because, like, I make no sense for my promo, but I'd be intense. I'd be intense.
There was 3 of them that could talk, and Sting used to be one of them. Like, they got rid of Sting from talking somehow. I don't know what happened. I think Warrior probably did something to his cocaine one time.
Hey, the shit with Macho Man.
Right.
Macho Man apparently never broke kayfabe or broke character out in public. Can you imagine him at like a fucking
What
grocery
you
store?
mean broke character?
Like Macho, that is Macho Man.
That's him.
But like, imagine someone running to him at the
Hey, it's
store
just him
and he's just
turned to
asking for
11.
help. Like, where are the bananas?
Oh, yeah, they're not 11.
Sir, what do you mean you need 50 coffee creamers? I know what I mean.
All right, so.
How come you don't have the Lucky Charms
The
anymore?
Lucky Charms, right? I don't want Fruit Loops.
All right, I want to bring something up real fast before we get really into the thing, because we know wrestling is choreographed and quote unquote fake. We know this, so it's not a thing.
You go do that shit.
If you comment this stuff, I'm gonna read it next time we do comments again, and I'm gonna call you an idiot, and you just made the list.
You know what happens?
You don't want Liquid Gold to call you an idiot.
Because
You
that's
made
pretty
the
damn
list
dumb.
of liquid gold.
All right, so I just want to get that out of there, and I wanted to talk about
Wrestling.
well, not wrestling. I wanted to talk about a little bit of Ultimate Muscle, and maybe see how Ultimate Muscle compares to different types of anime wrestling or even the real wrestling. Because I bet there is still real wrestling in
So you got some questions.
Kaneko Man or Ultimate Muscle.
You got some questions.
I got some questions. I got questions about Kaneko Man.
All right. So like, I decided not to go. I didn't write up like a whole fucking book report for this because I could. It can get that stupid. But what we're gonna do is I'll kind of let you know like where it comes from. All right. I believe it was 1984. We had a manga creator try to create another Ultraman. He was kind of making a cartoon spoof on the Ultraman series. Apparently, at some point, there were 7 Ultraman brothers. Apparently. I didn't know that either. And they made an 8th one. And the 8th one, he was like neglected. They didn't give a fuck about him. His powers were garbage. And so they kind of like kicked him out the family.
All right.
Right? That was the idea behind what we eventually got as Kaneko Man. So when you actually sit there and watch this goofy little cartoon, it's it just throws you right into the middle of this crazy ass world and kind of expects you just to fucking keep up with it. Kinnikuman is apparently like a superhero in Japan, and he's one of Japan's superheroes along with like Ultraman and other people. And I mean, in this continuity, things like Spider-Man exist in America and blah, blah, blah.
But they have their own heroes over there.
Right. Each country has like their own set of like special superheroes. Kinnikuman is a garbage superhero. So garbage, in fact, that one particular point, there was something like 20 or 100 fucking villains coming to take over Earth or take over Japan. And all the other heroes were like out on vacation. I mentioned Spider-Man. He had fallen and broken his legs. There was like like all the other heroes they could have called were just like incapacitated. So Kinnikuman was like, fuck it, I got it. So he grew to the size of like Godzilla and stood in the middle of Japan and waited and waited and waited and waited. And then the villain sent a message down to Japan and was like, yo, get us a real fucking hero. And we'll come back. So like it starts off like a superhero show. But then like probably like 3 or 4 episodes in, you get your first wrestling match. Like on the first episode or second episode, you meet his longtime partner, Terry Man. Kinnikuman and Terry Man. Terry Man is from Texas. And he is really, really from fucking Texas. He really is. Does a Texas toe
What am I?
He's actually based off of the wrestling legend Terry Funk. So what I'm going to tell you mostly about Kinnikuman is that like this show does start to go crazy with like how wrestling works and like all the different kinds of ways you can stretch it out. They have like a thing called the Chojin Olympics, which is essentially the superhero Olympics. And these guys go through these crazy ass preliminaries and get rid of hundreds of them out of the preliminaries. And if motherfuckers die, they die. Like it just kind of is what if you die, you fucking die. And like, and people do die quite often. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna tell you in just a minute. I'm gonna get through this. All right. So in the Chojin Olympics, once everybody gets through, then they have like a tournament style of wrestling. And you're in the wrestling ring. It appears nobody can fly anymore because everybody can fucking fly. You can't grow into a giant anymore. I don't know if that's rules or what, but they just kind of follow wrestling rules for the most part, but they do all kind of fake crazy shit. Such as there's a Chinese feller named Ramen Man. Ramen Man's special move is the camel clutch.
Hell yeah.
We're watching anime, right?
Okay.
His name is Ramen Man, right? They had to censor this shit, son. Like, like apparently when this cartoon got to France, this episode got the cartoon yanked out of France permanently. Like straight
Why?
So he did the camel clutch to a man named Brocken Man, which was a Nazi wrestler, a Nazi hero. He's a good guy. He's a Nazi.
Oh,
he's a Nazi hero.
Yeah, Nazi hero.
Just because you're a bad guy.
So
it's not mean you're a bad guy.
So he breaks this dude in half, straight up. Just
hell yeah.
Breaks him in half, folds him over, and then starts to roll this dude up and start whipping him against the ground. And then
making noodles.
This motherfucker
oh my God.
ramen, and then eats himself a bowl of ramen in the middle of the stage, straight
So
up.
he just killed a man.
Bro, dead.
That man's a dead man.
Like dead. So this is Kinnikuman. I'm gonna jump forward real quick. Ultimate Muscle takes place 10 years after the end of Kinnikuman, canonically, and I think in real life too. That was actually picked up by Fox Kids. It was actually like a legacy show, and if you've seen anything on Ultimate Muscle, it's super worth going back and watching Kinnikuman first. Because Ultimate Muscle references and tells you all kinds of shit that, oh man, when King Muscle was around, when he was doing his thing, this happened and these people, these people. And then it's like, oh, okay. So you just feel like even watching that show, it just feels like they put you in a rich world full of lore, but then you can go back and watch that lore. And they talk to you about it. They talk to you about Ramen Man clapping motherfuckers, turning them into ramen and shit. They tell you about it. Like, it's kind of wild.
So, I have a few questions.
Go ahead.
All right. So, in the spirit of real wrestling versus anime wrestling, how realistic is this show? Other than the ramen eating
All
man.
right,
What?
so realism, just throw that shit out the door.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
and wait, I'm gonna tell you why. All right, first of all, of course, it's the nature of the show. It's supposed to be like superheroes, like a spoofy superhero, and then it became wrestling. You can actually see it happen during the show. Like they kind of didn't mean to do it, but then went with it. The
He's
other
a
reason,
trash superhero, but he's a real
real
wrestler.
well, I mean, the superheroes are wrestlers in this show. They become wrestlers at these Olympics, and this is the way they compete. And it gets outrageous. It gets straight. Anyway, so what happens is instead of the creators coming up with like a villain of the week or a new wrestler each week, they actually were taking in images and pictures from fans. So everybody besides your main cast, Kaneko Man, Meat, Terry Man, and I think Marie, everybody else is a created fan character.
Oh, that's cool.
They had a calf in Kaneko Man.
There's a dude named Urinal Man. He's a straight up urinal.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. There's Robin Mask. He's an English dude that wears a knight's mask. Robin Hood, you know. Haha. Anyway, there's and Robin Mask is the truth. He's one of the coolest characters on the whole thing. But anyway, I digress.
I still have a few more questions.
I'm still stuck on Ramen Man.
Eat
Yeah,
man.
I know what you're stuck on, and when I tell you that this shit is like that's not even quite the most extreme shit gets. Like when I said Urinal Man, you can ask what Urinal Man can do.
I don't want to know what Urinal Man
Yeah, that's
does.
what Urinal
I
Man
don't
can
know,
do.
Like,
don't care. I can imagine. Where?
He's Gabe from fucking The
Compare-
Office.
I'm,
Flip.
they still have like real wrestling moves and everything. Like the camel
Absolutely.
clutch, and then they got
They
the
still
Kaneko.
have the Texas toe hold. They have power bombs, suplexes,
Hell yeah,
German
sir.
suplex. Like they have neck breakers, swinging neck breakers, and they actually take a lot of time to show them doing these moves. Now, mind you, animation isn't always wants you to pay exactly every bit of attention to the fighting because it is a goofy ass show. This shit is funny, but at the same time, they're very accurate to the moves that they do use. I don't know the names of all the wrestling moves, but I mean, you get hip tosses, you get off the top rope moves, you get
Dude,
elbow
snap
drops,
mares and stuff.
you get snap mares, you get rolling cradles, you get, and I mean, and mind you get this shit done by superheroes. So like when motherfuckers get a pile driver, their
It's
head
true.
goes through the fucking mat. Like shit go, and they don't always use just a wrestling mat. They use all kinds of shit to be a wrestling ring. They'll set up a pit on top of a fucking volcano. They'll set up a wrestling ring on top of like an island, but like on top of mountains and shit. But like there's no support for the ring. If the ring moves to the left, motherfuckers might fall out. Shit gets like they are extremely
Well, it's superheroes in a wrestling match, so
Sounds
it
like
should
they
be
just drop the ring on
it should
top.
be like high risk kind of
creative. It
thing.
is extremely high risk, and motherfuckers die.
Do you
often.
use educated feet?
He does not, but Terry Mann does, and so does Terry Kenyon. Terry the Grand Kenyon does as well.
Well, that's like okay. Compared to Ultimate Muscle and Kaneko Man, Tiger Mask, the show I watched,
Yes, sir.
is like Hajime no Ippo to Naruto.
Yep.
That's
Very realistic.
Like there's like crazy shit. Like you'll still like not the old 70s version because that's usually that's the old wrestling, but like Tiger Mask W, like
Right.
that man straight up. One of his moves, the villain, the whole big villain of the show, took a man to the top of the rope, all right, and then pile drove him, turned back, like flipped backwards, like a moonsault, and head straight the enemy or the opponent head dive straight into the mat.
Well, he about killed his ass, huh?
No, he almost died. He was
That's what I said. About killed his
oh,
ass.
well, he was paraplegic.
No.
I just wanted to say no, because that's what Liquid Gold says. So
That was one of the things I kind of want to bring up. Again, I want to move off of Kaneko Man and Ultimate Muscle. They're super duper worth watching. There's a lot of history that goes into that, and a lot of times you can see like political figures and wrestling figures and pop
Yeah.
idols and shit like being, displayed one way or the other. So like it appears that the manga Kaneko Man, like when
Mhm.
it started showing up like in Shonen and shit, it actually showed up before like anything. Not like anything ever, but anything that we know today is shonen, the power levels, tournament shonen, things like that, Kinnikuman seemed to have invented. Here's a good one for you, Mr. MattMatt. In the second episode of Kinnikuman's chasing a dude around with a big ass yellow steamroller.
A yellow ass steamroller.
Yellow steamroller. There's a scene when Kinnikuman is learning kung fu from Ramen Man, and he goes, "Whoa, sound like somebody from what?" But these things also predate
Fist of the North Star
and JoJo. So like looking around and watching this shit, and then seeing how many times shows that we've watched have referenced Kinnikuman, whether they knew it or not, I've been amazed. Like as stupid and as funny and as goofy and as unrealistic and then as realistic as this show can be at all times, it's incredible. It's really funny, and again, it's worth a watch.
Could a real life wrestling fan watch it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, I used to watch Ultimate Muscle as a kid because like the moves were super fucking big and they were like the big arcadey WWF games.
Yeah.
But like Ultimate Muscle, when they had their own games, were garbage. Absolute fucking garbage. Super garbage.
Was it garbage?
Babbage. But the show itself, the shows themselves they're pretty good. And they kind of get on to like promos and shit because people do throw promos. They do have managers and trainers and stuff like that. But their fighting is real fighting.
Yeah.
Like again, motherfuckers die. So again, I want to jump off of Ultimate Muscle and Kinnikuman's nuts. And Matt, you hadn't said a whole bunch about what you wanted to talk about wrestling.
So the only show I've ever watched, like centered around wrestling, was Tiger Mask W. Obviously, I've seen other shows that included pro wrestlers in them, like
Becky.
Kingen I watched, fucking Bloodline.
And I gotta
And
ask,
a lot of games I play, like I play a lot of Japanese games. You can definitely see, like even in the regular shows, right? Like there was a show I watched or saw a clip of one time where a principal fucking suplexed a deer. Like he went to the top rope. Like and like dude,
we went and looked for that shit.
This
shit was
like,
deer up.
This shit was like slice of life, you know?
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see because wrestling's really huge in Japan.
like really huge.
It's like really big.
Well, they take their wrestling like it's a shoot sport, like
Right.
a real sport, like an MMA fight.
Which they're more willing to do more
is-
dangerous shit
yeah,
than they are in America. Like the you kept saying Kinniku Man, the Kinniku Buster, outlawed.
Yeah.
You cannot fucking do that shit in America.
Only one person does it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Samoa Joe. And
He
it's
does a muscle
and
buster. It's different.
It's the same setup with a backdrop.
Mhm.
There's one.
Go ahead.
There's one move in wrestling that no one does except one person in Japan, and I don't think he even pulls it out anyway. It's called the reverse valley driver, and it's not okay. How's it explained? There's people that call reverse valley drivers, but they usually flop them over like a John Cena AA.
Almost
Or
like a fireman's carry.
Like a fireman's carry
Yeah.
throwback. This man, he will drop them on their neck.
Yeah.
Like he'll just like come down and just drive their neck into the ground.
Right.
And that in anime, man, spit some blood out and be okay. In real life,
I don't think
that
he's
man
okay.
is dead.
Stone Cold, one of the toughest fellas we know. Well, look what happened to him with a pile driver.
Yeah.
Well, his fucking head was a foot
Well, yeah, he
between
took-
his
he took
fucking
that,
legs.
Look what the
I'll
nugget
tell you
did.
what. Speaking of
Hold on. I just want to say this. You know what? No. Matt.
okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of finishers, what's y'all's favorite? A couple of y'all's favorite finishers. Every time you see it anywhere, like you get a pop out of it. You know, I'll tell you one of mine. Clothesline, a good JBL clothesline from hell. Cause like I don't know about y'all, but I grew up in the Ruthless Aggression and just a little bit before that when JBL was still fighting, and he was knocking motherfuckers' heads off.
I grew up with Bradshaw, the Acolytes.
Right.
Bradshaw. That's the one.
That was a mean
That was
one.
right before
That was-
APA,
that
right?
was with-
that's with
that's
APA.
The Acolyte Protection
No,
Program.
right, that's right.
Him and Farouk.
Hey,
Damn.
just come into work and drink beer and fucking smoke cigars.
cigarettes and play cards.
Once in a
Sold.
while, close somebody all the way to hell. Oh, not from.
Can I sign
Dude,
that?
I saw a clip the other day of him power bombing somebody, and he sent that motherfucker through the map.
Bruh, fucking Farouk sidewalk slam.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was damn ridiculous.
Oh, he picks him up like
Bro,
this and just throws him
I didn't
down.
know you could do a move like that legally. I was like, oh, he really hurt that man. Steve, what was your favorite finisher?
Oh, okay. There's two. I'm sorry. I have to bring them up. For me, honestly, I don't know if this is going to ban me from YouTube, but I am honestly a real big fan of the crippler crossface.
It's a cool move.
And it's not, as we're not going to talk about the person, but
Really-
that
really
move
easy
is
to do
so,
on-
because, okay, I can say the yes lock. That's the same thing, except it's just a little different. Like he acts like it's a omoplata. He grabs the arm like an omoplata and then he grabs the head.
You know.
All right. But in real life, it's the crippler crossface. In anime, it's the Kinniku Buster. Please let me see that motherfucker. And in Tekken Bloodline, King is an anime character now. So that is canon of being his finisher.
Hey,
I'm going to tell you what right now. That shit just doesn't hold a candle
To what?
to King muscle or Kid muscle. That shit just does not. Like Kings, no matter what iteration of the Kinniku Buster you've ever seen King do, ain't it? It's nice. It's real sound. That ain't it. That ain't with the power of ultimate muscle behind it.
hey, fucking a pile driver, a tombstone pile driver in any anime is bound to fucking
Is
break the
death.
ground. Like with there was one in Tiger Mask W where he like sends his opponent 15 feet in the air, jumps up there, flips him midair, and drops his ass.
Mm.
And I mean like,
Okay.
Well, hold on. I have a favorite finisher, my damn self.
Oh, my bad.
My
Kadawfi.
favorite finisher seems to be the most versatile finisher and apparently is lasting through the generations. But the Diamond Cutter, a.k.a. the RKO.
I don't know.
oh my, right? I was about to come up with that shit
You
too.
can do those two moves anywhere.
The
I
bubble
want to
cutter.
see that shit in the anime.
Those right there are some savage ass moves. Like, I mean, wow.
If they,
Hey,
if
imagine-
they did it, he would land it and like you know how it was like the shift,
Imagine
like the
Goku
slice.
and
That's what it would feel like.
Imagine
because
Goku and Vegeta doing that shit.
I would like to see them do elbow drops and leg drops.
All right.
I would like to see them in a wrestling match and participating.
I want a Hercule
Like they
Satan anime where he goes into the local pro wrestling.
So I'm glad
It's all a trick.
I'm glad you said that. So I told you guys there was actually something else I wanted to come talk about. So upon my adventures on looking for wrestling anime, I wanted to find something that none of us had seen. I didn't want to specifically just watch Kinniku Man and Ultimate Muscle, which, by the way, I'm on episode 40 of Ultimate Muscle and episode 38 of Kinniku Man. 100 more episodes to go. All right, so
good job.
here we go. I actually found a show called Kimono Michi Rise Up. Now, this is a show about a world championship wrestler. He's the current heavyweight champion of whatever fucking country he's from. He's defending his belt one last time against his all-time rival, Mao. This man's name is Animal Mask. Animal Mask. He has a dream one day of opening up a pet store. And that's all he can think about. And he's going to beat Mao's ass so he can finally have just enough money to open up his pet store and live his dream. While he's getting ready to perform his finishing blow on Mao, he's jumping in the air off the top rope and suddenly he's teleported to a different dimension. This dude just got isekai'd. He got isekai'd to a kingdom and he's teleported in front of a princess inside of a castle and she goes to him and she says, "Look, you're the hero we're looking for. The demon army is coming through and we need your help to help us defeat all these monsters and beasts." Dude said, "What'd you just say to me?" monsters and beasts. What do you mean? She goes, you know, these wild animals and whatnot. Animal mask.
Oh.
He walks up behind her, gropes her from behind, puts his hands around her waist, and she's like, hey, I'm the princess. You can't just be doing stuff like, well, maybe later. He. Then he hits that bitch with the most nasty German suplex you've ever seen in your life. In your life.
That bitch is broken in half.
In the first 4 minutes of the show,
I gotta watch this shit after this.
He just motherfucking suplexed a princess and then left her with her ass cheeks hanging out. The whole court saw it. They told stories about it. This bitch later became known as Princess Buttocks.
Oh my God.
So, this show is set up so dude can seem like a little creepy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on is he's in this weird ass world where there are demons, there are demon beasts, and they're half demon, half people. He runs into a giant wolf man who wants to rob him for some reason, and he ends up petting the dude and finds his little spot on his chest and turns the dude, like almost turns him into his dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are confused. He was like, why is he so fucking strong? Why is he so outrageous? This dude is literally like hitting motherfuckers with bulldogs and shit off of buildings and like damn near killing them. Nobody dies in this funny ass show. Long story short,
They might as well though.
Long story short, he eventually ends up teaching people how to wrestle, and oh my God,
I didn't watch this show.
He has like an ogre king that he beat the shit out of and taught him how to wrestle. There's a cat girl that he taught to be a luchador. He's got a wolf girl that he taught to wrestle. There's so many different things. Like he found ways of like not having to kill anything. When they would send him after to go get beasts and shit, dude was playing Pokemon without Pokeballs. He would snatch up these demon beasts, tame them, take them to his house, and then sell them as pets. He found a way to make himself a pet store.
Nice.
Bro, this show is so fucking funny because it's set up like dude is a creep, but he's not because he's just playing with animals. Steve.
All right. So talking about Animal Man and seeing the picture of him reminds me of a man named Tiger Mask. And that's the show I watched most of this. And I pretty much watched real wrestling in my whole life. But all right. So Tiger Mask, like I said, was grounded. And I think there's one part that Kadawfi kind of brought me to when he said he snatched up beasts. There was a guy named Black Python, and he was supposed to fight Tiger Mask. He's a villain or a heel in wrestling terms. He gets off a plane that he just came to Japan. And in the same plane, there was a tiger getting transported to Japan too. It gets out. All the reporters that were around Black Python was scared, didn't know what to do. Black Python was straight faced, no nothing. Saw the tiger. Tiger was all mad and everything. Black Python walks up like nothing, like a Sunday morning, slaps this fucking tiger, and then grabs it by the nape of its neck, and then carries it like it's his pet. To the interview room. He's not done yet. Puts it on the couch. Just throws that bitch on the couch. Grabs a bottle, flicks it, breaks half of it, starts drinking out one side, hits the tiger with the rest of the bottle. The tiger thinks he's going to try to attack this man. Black Python said, bitch, make me a sandwich. And this tiger was like, I don't want to fuck with him no more.
Nope.
Nope.
I don't want to fuck with him no more. And then said to the press, that's what I'm going to do to your Tiger Mask.
Damn.
And Tiger Mask ain't playing around. Like in this show, it really brings out the realism. Like how wrestling in real life was in the 70s or the 60s and the 70s. Like it was live or die, real shit was happening.
Yeah, because this is 1960.
Nope, 1978.
Which is around the time this actually came out.
Tiger Mask is a wrestler from a heel camp called the Tiger Den. He starts as a heel and he continues on because he is an orphan and he tries, and it sounds familiar like Tekken, he's an orphan that tries to help out his orphanage that he lived in or he was born in.
Does it sound like Tekken?
It does sound
What
like
do you think?
Tekken sounds like this, don't
There
it?
you go. That's how math
But
works.
he was a heel. He started as a heel. Like they show the montage of him learning how to wrestle. He fights other wrestlers, hangs from bridges like 100 feet in the air, like upside down for days,
Shit, yeah.
Wrestling for days on end, fighting animals. His ending like training test is fighting a full grown tiger.
Damn.
The other guy didn't survive. It actually showed him fucking getting mauled by the fucking tiger. And Tiger Mask had one of his moments. He brought back, he was like, I gotta be strong for these kids.
Yeah.
And broke the fucking tiger in half. Was like,
Friendship always prevails.
friendship always in anime prevails.
So I'm gonna tell you this right here. Hold on. I'm gonna jump on you for a second. In this little goof ass show, right?
All right.
So my dude Kinemo, well, his name's Genzo, Animal Mask. He ends up technically collecting a harem. Technically.
Technically.
Right? No,
Jesus.
that's what
It's not a harem. It's the bitches he suplexed.
None of the.
He tamed him with a
You're
suplex.
almost not wrong. There's one girl, Sugure. She runs everything for him, like all his finances and stuff. He goes out and does like actual quests at guilds and shit, and actually goes and brings back beasts and monsters, and stops situations and beats the shit out of ogre kings and stuff like that with his bare hands.
The weaponless knight.
Dude is ridiculous. With just his drawers on, dude is ridiculous.
Wait, does he go out with his drawers on, or does he have
Yes.
I thought he went out with his clothes and was just straight. Okay, hold
Depends
on.
on which episode you're watching.
Oh, so he just keeps that shit on him.
It depends on which episode you're watching. So
I'll watch the shit.
so at his house, he also has a dragon princess. She's like a half dragon breed, dragon princess something, who happens to have a vampire servant who's a drunk vampire. She's always drunk. And at his house, he has all his pets and stuff, and he has his own personal pet, Hiroyuki, his own little Pomeranian. One day, somebody tried to steal this damn dog. While him and all the girls were gone. But you keep forgetting that there's another character at the house. You keep forgetting. They show him to you every fucking episode. You just forget he's at the house. It's a 7-foot tall fucking ant.
What?
A 7-foot tall ant.
He's fighting that ant.
Dude don't say a word. Dude don't say nothing. Next thing you know, the people who was trying to steal the damn dog wound up beat the shit out of on the street somewhere. Somebody was dragging their asses back on a cart or something like that. You didn't even see the ant work them. That's the best part. When I tell you this, and when I tell you this show's so damn funny, because the wrestling moves, they're drawn very accurately. A lot better than Kaneko Man, I think, the way they're drawn. And I think even better than Ultimate Muscle. But I think the Kaneko Man series, I think actually holds more of the spirit of wrestling to it versus Rise Up. I think it kind of uses the spirit of wrestling to kind of make it seem more exciting than it really is. It's a weird take on an isekai.
That's another isekai.
If a professional wrestler got isekai'd, what would happen?
Put Stone Cold Steve Austin in that bitch.
You, this shit's funny because dude is like the way he talks and shit is very reminiscent of like Ultimate Warrior and because he kind of goes off on dumbass tangents about nothing and then just hero power bombs motherfuckers.
You're telling me, brother, that I've come to your world and there's orcs and kobolds. I'm the cream of the crop in my world.
I'm trying to tell you, bro, this shit.
So you said Ultimate Warrior. This motherfucker started promoing fucking Randy Savage.
He did, but I mean, he has that 80s feel of a wrestler's voice to him. But he's definitely like a 2000s wrestler.
Is this a dub or a sub?
Both.
Okay.
Oh my god.
And
no, on the dub, he's gonna sound like John Cena.
I watched it dub actually. This is what I'm talking about.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, he sounds fine. It's funny. It's truly comical.
So pretty much he's just promoing the whole time.
No, not like that, but like that. And
does he cut any good promos for him?
The shit gets weird. The shit gets weird, but it doesn't get like Desert Punk weird ever. Ever.
Go fuck yourself, Kadawfi.
No, go fuck yourself.
All right. So we've talked a lot about the anime side of wrestling. Let's bring in a little bit of realism. I know there's not jumps from 15 feet in the air and
shit.
Unless you're Mick Foley.
Right? Or Rikishi.
Yeah, but is he jumping 15 feet in the air?
No,
or is he
getting
falling
tossed.
off?
Okay.
He's getting tossed and
Mick Foley
spitting a
jumped
fucking
15
tooth out of
feet
his
in the air,
nose.
but Rikishi was pushed.
No. Mick Foley was thrown off 15 feet in the air.
After
No.
he was thrown off.
Rikishi
after.
got pushed.
Mick
Mick
took
Foley
a
got
running
thrown
jump.
off.
He took a running jump.
No, he got thrown the fuck off.
He
Then
got
he,
thrown into the announce table after he was he wasn't even gonna finish that match.
They say
Alright.
that's how he invented Mr. Sacco.
I just, it's crazy to hear the differences in anime compared to real wrestling. Like, yeah, real wrestling, you do the moves, but I don't know. In anime, you kind of see them like push them into the move. In wrestling, you can see the
move happened.
the move happen.
Right.
In anime, it's like, I'm gonna put you in a pretzel and then I'm gonna twist this fucking arm.
What is it they say? They say one man uses a move, one man takes the hit. That's how pro wrestling begins. Is that not it? Is that not the essence of it all?
Essence of pro wrestling.
If you could be,
There's an essence to it, bro. Like there's
if you could be a real wrestler in any timeline, who would it be?
beat any wrestler,
In any timeline, who would it be?
I'd like to be
Shawnee Michaels?
either Shawn Michaels or X-Pac.
In what time? Like when he was the Heartbreak Kid or when he was in
Come
DX?
on, you know that shit.
he be doing the State of the Union.
Probably when he was the Heartbreak Kid. Probably when he was like doing the Royal Rumbles and he had that cool move where that couldn't nobody throw him out.
Oh, the scrape the cap?
You know, the turnbuckle where he flip up on the turnbuckle.
Oh, yeah. When he, that's how he messed up his back a lot of times,
I
too.
mean, I'm sure, but like, you know, he had a good time. And he had the sweet chin music. And I mean, like,
You want to tune up the band?
I mean, who didn't?
Did
Who
you ever?
didn't?
Matt?
I don't know if you ever watched wrestling early in the early 2000s, but did you ever see when DX came back and Shawn Michaels was talking about, or they said that DX wasn't controversial no more because the whole world was used to dirtier shit out and about. So he just started super kicking everyone in the back. Like dude looked at some dude with some fucking papers in his hand and he goes, "What's your name?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm Steve." He goes, "Hi, Steve." And he fucking hits him, right? And he goes, "See? I just kicked Steve."
Fuck you, Steve.
Fuck you, Steve.
Oh, man. There were some great moments in wrestling, bro.
Matt, favorite wrestler in the moment? Or
Who would I want to be?
who would you want to be?
Oh, fuck.
This motherfucker gonna be Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. No, actually, no. I'd like to be Doink the fucking Clown
Heard.
and make him
pull that off.
and make him an actually decent fucking wrestler.
He was a decent wrestler.
Man, I'm telling you, Matt, I'm sorry, but
Fucking
the
Brooklyn-
fucking clown was a
Brooklyn
fucking
Brawler.
joke.
I'd want to be every jobber there ever was. Alright.
Doink the clown, Abe Knuckleball
Abe
Schwartz,
Knuckleball Schwartz.
the Brooklyn Brawler,
Every jobber ever.
the Garbage Man, Bastion Booger.
Oh, what the fuck was his name back in the day?
Straight
He,
up, like back in the 80s and 90s, like just imagine like Bastion Booger. Would you want to wrestle that man at
No,
all?
man. He gonna do something gross.
where the fuck did he get that name from?
Hey, he was bacterium. I mean, you know what I see
God.
in wrestling anime compared to anime that have wrestlers in it? All right. Wrestling anime, they kind of draw about the same. There's some tall ones, some short ones. It's like regular people, just wrestlers.
Mhm.
And anime that have wrestlers in it, they're like 7'6".
Yeah, they got to be
fucking
monsters.
like they only have knee pads and trunks. They don't have any.
Everyone's Andre the Giant.
Everyone's Andre the Giant. Like I saw Baki. It was the same. I even saw it was Kingen too.
Oh
I
man,
mean, but that's what it looked like, though. Like, I know if you put Brock Lesnar next to Batista looked little as hell. But if you put Batista next to you or me,
dude, a move
Batista
and
and Brock Lesnar would buy in the prime.
But Batista big as shit. Like,
for no reason.
like, I know you see him in the movies and he'd be like hunched over and he look like he'd be people size and shit, but he's not. He's really not. That motherfucker's a big savage man.
I say prime Batista and prime Brock Lesnar are the same person.
Hey, I'm glad
The
you
exact same
brought
person.
up Kingen.
You could do a fusion dance. It'd be Brock
Batista.
Too much steroid.
But
Too much.
That creature would explode.
I am glad you brought up Kengan, because like you're right with the damn the pro wrestlers, because what you were saying is when it's pro wrestling anime, they go into what pro wrestlers do, you know, and like they have a high respect for them. When we get into something like Kengan or Baki, there's there's something with Kengan. The second episode, he's fighting a pro wrestler in a parking garage, right? And he's doing a little bit to him, but he's obviously fighting a bigger dude, so the dude can muscle through it, which is the whole thing with pro wrestlers. Like, we take the move and we dish it right back out, which is all every time they do something, they take it, say, fuck it, get back up and do something else.
That's the fuck.
There's a move that the dude in Kengan does where he grabs him, right? Like, I can't remember his name, off the top of my head. But dude grabs him and he goes, I enjoy getting grabbed. That's what I'm out here for, right? And he turns him around, grabs him by the waist, and German suplexes his ass, right? And everyone in the crowd's like, oh shit, because he like fucking put him through the pavement just now, right? And they're like, and he's like arched back and just like, oh no, boy, I ain't done, and flips over him, and then suplexes his ass again. That shit right there, like
rolling suplex.
That shit right there. I remember watching the show, just like, if this guy who just got suplexed wasn't in the fucking intro to the show, show's over.
Yeah, he's dead.
Show was fucking the only reason he won that fight was he fucking powered up somehow.
And in Baki, they had the Ultimate Warrior ripoff.
And Baki, they show respect to every martial art.
They do.
In Baki, they showed the honor they showed the honor and the shitty wrestlers. They showed both. They really did.
They showed the Ric Flairs.
So I actually, when we were preparing for the Tekken episode, I actually watched something that pertains to this episode. I didn't mean to. I looked up Tekken, and of course, like I do on my nefarious websites, something else called Tekken, but it was spelled different, showed up, and it was a lot newer. Like it was like in like the 2010, somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah. It was about a young boy whose father was the master of some kind of vicious assassination martial arts or some shit, and his dad's ultimate rival, who was a professional wrestler. They went toe to toe one time, and they fought to a standstill. So this dude obsessively was trying to get homeboy to fight one more time, and when dad wouldn't fight no more, his son stepped up. And his son stepped up to the plate to some vicious, almighty, oh my God, why are you fighting this man wrestler? And shit was like almost watching Jack Hanma versus a rabbit for a while. Shit got real bad. I ain't gonna tell you who won and how they won, but shit got real bad for a minute.
Jack.
Anyway, Jack wasn't the main character. But you just happened to watch, and again, that also showed a lot of pride in wrestlers. Because like this whole thing was, as a wrestler, I stake my pride on this and what I do, and to have come to a draw and can't say that I can definitively beat this dude, that just fucks up my life. And I need to get this dub back. So you got to run this back with me. Another real cool show. Something I wanted to say one more time. I know I tried to leave it alone, but one more quick time. Kaniku Man. I got to do it one more time. I'm sorry. And I'm going to shut the hell up probably a little while. Second episode of Kaniku Man, Terry Man shows up. Terry Man shows up because there's a monster, and Kaniku Man is bullshitting about getting a monster. He's taking his time, joking around and bullshitting. Terry Man flies all the way from fucking Texas to Japan, shows up to see this monster, pulls out a pistol, and blows this motherfucker away.
That sounds like some Terry Funk shit.
And then looked at the governor of or whoever of Japan and said, that'll be about $150,000, please. Straight charged him for his hero work.
Oh my God.
Then they hired Terry Man to get, cause like all the other heroes, retired or whatever. But fucking Kaniku Man was like, bro, I'll be the hero. And they was like, no, we're gonna hire Terry Man because you suck. You suck real.
Kaniku Man's like, I could use a gun. That's fucked up.
I've always got
what did he call that move?
But I'm telling you, the show is built up like you actually watch Kaniku Man get trill.
Yeah.
Like within the first 4 episodes or whatever, you see him just mollywop somebody. Just they're like, oh damn, he's got some potential. Up to where I'm at right now, he hasn't learned the Kaniku Buster yet.
You gonna figure it out.
Excuse me, he hadn't learned the Butt Buster yet. Kid Muscle changed it to the Kaniku Buster. Anywho, he learned the 48 moves of death, and I've only seen 6. He be killing motherfuckers.
List of 1,000 holds.
Armbar.
All right, Dean Malenko. We've been really asking questions and just kind of riffing about how we feel about real wrestling and talking about what comparisons we've been able to pull from anime. And really what I think we're able to talk about today is the excitement is the same whether we're watching it on cartoon or watching it in live action.
Mm-hmm.
That pure excitement. I mean, as a little boy, I mean, dude, we all felt it jumping off the fucking couch, elbow dropping our brother. When in my case, and my little brother was too little to be elbow dropped.
Hey, the fucking
watching John Cena.
the shit with you talked about the RKO earlier. There was me and Steve were talking about it a little while ago because WrestleMania just happened. I fell off real life wrestling, at least with the WWE, a couple of years ago, back in like 2017, 2018. But I got back into it around WrestleMania 31, 9 years ago. Nine years ago. Jesus Christ. But there was a move that had happened where, I don't know if you know who this person is, but his name's Seth Rollins, right? And his move is a curb stomp. And he starts in the corner,
I
and he runs up, and he jumps up off the person's back, and then hits him. So he was trying to do that to Randy Orton, right? And one thing you don't ever do to Randy Orton is jump at him, right? Seth Rollins maybe got 5-6 foot of air, dude, but he was up there for what? Like, I watched this shit live,
and it looked crazy as fuck.
dude. He looked like he was up there for hours.
Damn.
So he like run up and like that's what I like compare with anime shit is like when we see something on like Tiger Mask with the fucking super pile driver or his fucking his tiger kick where he fucking chops him in the head and then hits him with the knee.
Oh,
where we're
God,
like, damn, that shouldn't take too long. There's real moments like that. Like I said with Seth Rollins, he's up there for hours and then fucking Randy Orton stands up and fucking RKO's his ass into the mat. Like,
it's cool to see your like moves you like in the shows or whatever. Like,
right? I
can't.
Every time I see a German suplex, I fucking pop.
German
I want a Stone Cold got a high school sucked ass, but I was out of my seat when that stunner was sweet.
They put all
that shit was in the intro of the show. That's all you need to watch.
That was crazy.
Wrestling's just exciting, man.
I have a question for y'all. I pose a question. All right. Who is better? The Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, or Edge and Christian?
Edge and Christian. The 5-second pose.
The concerto?
The
5-second pose.
But the concerto. What? Are you telling me the concerto wasn't better than the table or the ladder?
No, getting the table sounded way better.
Sounded way better, but what looked more damaging?
The 3D in the table.
Bullshit.
The 3D in the table.
I'll be honest, I like Edge and Christian, but there's a lot of good tag teams nowadays,
Edge and
too.
Christian with the 3D and Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy's song. No, I don't know. Edge and Christian had a really good song.
The concerto was worlds better than the fucking 3D. The 3D was sweet because you and your boys we used to do that shit in school. We used to wait for the teeth to turn around and just 3D a motherfucker through a desk. Like, bro, we weren't playing on a little floppy desk because, like, you can't break them. They'd fall over. We do that shit. We catch motherfuckers in the bathroom and have motherfucking hardcore matches in the bathroom, beating motherfuckers, throwing trash cans at people and shit. Always have a blast, bro. Like, that's why
I flipped the teacher off
for kids.
When Stone Cold was starting to exit the WWE. I was real young and I was a huge fan, and I went to school. I was going to a Christian school at the time, and I straight said, "Hey, teacher," and I flipped that bitch the bird straight up.
Anybody who doesn't know, you probably know now. One of us is black, and the other two are white. Because one of us wouldn't be alive had we ever flicked off an authority figure.
Hey, this is also around the time
in a Christian facility.
This is also around the time where schools would beat your ass. They called my mom and they're telling her the whole thing, and I hear her over there, "Oh, beat his ass. Yeah, I'll beat his ass when I get down there too. Y'all just warm his ass up. Tuning up the band over here."
Some whoopings and death.
They wore my ass
Whoopings.
out. I got in the car,
Death.
took home, wore my ass out some more.
Tell you, bro.
Wrestling's gotten us to a lot of trouble.
Three things. Worst injury you ever seen live.
Ooh. Owen Hart.
No, that's a death. You can't do that.
Well, that's a pretty big injury.
Did
That's
you watch
a
it
death.
live?
You can't talk.
That
We
was
can't
one of
watch-
those. Yeah, that was one of those big boo boos.
Oh, God.
No,
No, I
like,
mean, like, did you watch Over the Edge
it can't.
when it happened? Oh, no shit.
They-
Did you
I'm
remember
holding on.
the match? Remember the match with Undertaker at the end? My man was holding back tears if y'all didn't see it. With Stone Cold and Undertaker?
Who wasn't?
Oh my God.
Because like it shut off on the pay per view.
Yeah, they tried to cut it.
Like it shut off. Like he was up there and then it shut off.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh shit. All right, let's go to bed, y'all. Well, we just started. You go to bed, y'all.
Because your parents knew what was up.
Yeah, they knew what was up.
MattMatt, worst injury.
Oh, worst injury? Seth Rollins. I watched that motherfucker snap his damn shin bone.
Mm.
That shit was gross.
Psycho Sid.
Psycho's it. Like I was like, this one.
That and one more. I'm sorry. One more because I gotta give him props. I hate the fucking championship that they made, but the fucking inaugural match was dope. It was another Seth Rollins match, but it was with Finn Balor, and they were doing the Universal Championship, right? And the finish was Seth was supposed to throw Finn into the barricade, right? Supposed to powerbomb him into the barricade, and Finn was supposed to come back in, do his he go off the top rope, do something called the coup de grace, and he jumps onto someone's stomach, right, both feet, and they fucked up the spot, and Seth threw Finn way too close, so Finn went to catch himself and popped his shoulder out of place, right on screen. I watched this shit. He put his arm back, and you watch his shoulder go forward, right, and he slumped down. And Seth's just trying to because they cut to Seth, and he's talking shit and everything, goes back in the ring and all that, and then they cut back to Finn, and this motherfucker puts it back, finishes the fuck. Dude, put this shit back on TV and finish the fucking match.
That's some shit a wrestler would do.
Now the worst thing
Gangsta
WWE ever did to me was Survivor Series back in like when Goldberg came back. They hyped Goldberg up for months and months and months because he was going to fight Brock Lesnar, right?
No, that's not.
No,
Survivor Series.
this is Survivor Series.
No, Survivor Series was the Elimination Chamber.
Cool. This was Survivor Series. I watched it.
Okay.
So
Just like you watched Scott Steiner, right?
I watched this.
Or you
Okay.
watched Psycho
So
Sid.
Was
so
Stone Cold
they did the entrance. They did the
Hey, was
entrance.
Stone Cold-
Goldberg's coming through, got the security guards and everything. Stops in the fucking, all this shit, right? Ding, ding, ding. A minute and 26 seconds later,
This
end of the match.
This was 2016.
Dude,
Survivor
we
Series.
got fucked. Like, me and my uncle are sitting here watching the show. Like, it's like 9:30 or 9:30, 10:30, something like that. There's supposed to be 30 minutes more of the show because of the fucking pay-per-view, right? That shit cut off. It's like, all right, thanks for tuning in to Survivor Series. We'll see you tonight on Monday Night Raw.
Maybe you didn't know. Or maybe nobody told your ass.
Dude.
Goldberg was never in the ring for longer than 10 minutes.
Well, no, that's what my uncle kept saying.
Yeah.
He was just like, he was watching it and he was excited too. He's like, yeah, Brock Lesnar can't fight. Neither can fucking Goldberg. I wonder how they're going to do this shit.
fast.
And like, they did the minute 26 and he goes, that's about right.
It's called shock and all. That's what it was.
They wanted to build to WrestleMania. That's what they wanted. Just to drop it back to Brock. And again, and again, and again.
Probably Mick Foley falling off the Hell in a Cell. Pushing and having. Okay. First off,
What?
threw off the cell, didn't break any. Like, was.
on thumbtacks.
No, the ring was thumbtacks.
That's through the cell on
Onto the
thumbtacks.
Oh, yeah. No.
No.
Hold on.
No.
Hold on.
Nigga, who you talking about?
I'm trying. Okay.
Or who?
I'll start over. Threw off the cell, got onto a doctor or the damn
Gurney.
the gurney, came off of the gurney, went back up to the up top of the cell, got thrown into the ring, and the ring imploded. Then got thrown on some thumbtacks, then got pinned. Had a tooth in his fucking nose. I think had a concussion and maybe have cracked his skull.
Mick Foley should be dead.
Nope. Some people are just too gangster to die.
All right. Then there's
Mick Foley.
And I hate to bring out the trumpets. I really tried to skate around the trumpets. But I'm a big fan of John Cena.
Get the shovel.
But there's one. No, that's Triple H. That is all Triple H from 2002. He got the shovel the whole time. All right.
I remember watching SummerSlam when he came back.
John Cena tore his pec. And I don't know if that sounds really bad to people.
Horrible.
But like, just imagine your whole like pec just going away. Like, fuck that.
Especially when you made
when Edge fucking broke his back.
So,
Okay. Stone Cold fucking getting Tombstone pile drive.
he just got pile drove. He didn't get tombstone.
Tombstone.
No, he got Tombstone pile drive.
It was a regular pile driver.
No, it was a Tombstone pile driver. It was a butt sit down pile driver.
It was a regular pile driver, not a tombstone.
It was a tombstone.
He was supposed to go to
It
his
was
knees.
a tombstone.
And he went to his ass.
Tombstones on the knees. Like, he just got a regular pile driver when you drop on your ass.
No, pile drivers when their stomach's facing out. Tombstone pile driver is either knees or butt.
Undertaker always did that shit to his knees.
Yes, but that doesn't mean
whatever.
it's not a tombstone pile driver.
I just don't
All
believe
right.
it. You wrap it up.
You wrap it up.
Favorite.
You wrap
it up.
All right. Favorite.
Keep it wrapped up.
Favorite fucking matches, jackasses.
Favorite matches? Oh, JBL versus John Cena. Fucking 2006 Judgment Day, the I Quit match. Where
2004.
It was 2006.
It was 2004.
2006.
2004. This motherfucker doesn't act like I watched the same DVD of John Cena at least 10 times and saw all the matches. It might be 2005. It might be, but I think it's 2004.
It was Scott Steiner.
It was Scott Steiner.
Frankenstein.
Right in the middle. It was 2005.
Yeah, because he was in the middle of his fucking championship run, bitch.
They like, that was like the bloodiest match I've ever seen.
No, the bloodiest match was Eddie Guerrero when he did the same thing with fucking JBL, except, it might have been a Texas strap match. And Eddie Guerrero cut his fucking face open too deep and bled like a stuck pig the whole fucking match. They thought he died in the ring. They were like, they had to get him a blood transfusion immediately when he got out of that match.
Yeah, people bladed real bad. That's like,
you
that's
think
why,
about it. You think about
Devon's got it bad.
And we talk about Ramen Man fucking eating people, but in real life, you have the worst thing you got to worry about is a broken nose or a torn pec.
I wonder if is there an origami man? I hope so, because it's like, why do they call it? It's a goose.
Help me! I'm a goose now.
Oh, they got they actually have a wrestler from Hawaii. His name is Jesse Mavia.
Oh God!
Oh,
Of the Mavia family.
Oh
wow!
I'm out. I'm out immediately.
What you mean?
Hey,
I'm out.
that's a really good callback. I like that.
Thank you. They got a lot of kick-ass callbacks. I'm trying not to like spoil it because honestly, for your history, this one's worth the watch. This one truly is. Watch it on your own time. Have a good time.
Kadawfi, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Wrestling is not just for kids. Wrestling is for grown men to share with their kids. That's what wrestling's for. It's a great tradition to pass down. I personally don't watch any of the live action stuff anymore. Not since John Cena showed up.
Everybody loves a wigger.
Everybody does. I haven't watched it really since then. I've seen maybe a few matches here and there. A couple times the Rock's come back, blah, blah, blah. I'm a big fan of it. I love Booker T. I love Dean Malenko. I love Perry Saturn, Chris Jericho, even though his career in the WWF was to get beat up by Triple H. The pedigree and the unprettier are the two actual best wrestling moves ever. The Sweet Chin music is super cool. The Swanton Bomb, Go Hardy Boys. I'm a real big fan of wrestling, new and old. I know there's a lot of new great things happening, and I hope it keeps coming. I hope more anime shows up with actual wrestling and not sumo wrestling, not perverse wrestling, but actual wrestling. I hope we get something else like Tiger Mask. Maybe a new version of it. I think would be really
That's what
cool.
W is.
No, not of Tiger Mask's life, but like of all the other wrestlers that we don't get to hear about. Or maybe just make up another wrestler. We get to watch a Ippo style version of wrestling. You know what I mean? Something.
So a guy that
Something-
gets beat up for 15 minutes and then the trumpets start playing.
I would
Learn one
like, I
good
would like to
suplex.
see something, a bit more wrestling focused versus all the other focuses that they do have. Again, besides just Tiger Mask. As big as wrestling is over there in Japan, I'm hoping something else is coming soon because Kimino Michi Rise Up has a lot of great animation behind it. They understand like how people work together in wrestling. There's a great understanding of how it works, and I'd love to see that put to the screen one more time in a beautiful fashion like Tiger Mask.
Matt, final thoughts.
Vince McMahon is ruining the WWE.
Ultimate Muscle, the owner of the muscle of the IWF, the Intergalactic World Wrestling Federation, or the Intergalactic Wrestling Federation. His name is Vance McMahon.
With that,
Hold on.
we're done.
Well, my final thoughts are that AMA wrestling is a lot more showmanship and great animation. I think it's a great outlet to watch wrestling because you can see the shit that real wrestling can't do. But I still have near dear in my heart is wrestling, real wrestling. The last time I really watched it, and I can see the promo now, is Alberto Del Rio in the middle of Monday Night Raw. That's the last thing I can remember. I can remember it vividly in my head. I just want to say this was one of my favorite episodes, and thank you guys for listening, and thanks to my uncle for bringing that great pleasure into my life. Thank you guys for listening, and this is the Fighting Couch Potatoes. Hope you guys listen. Hope you guys talk about us, and it's been awesome.
Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. The Fighting Couch Potatoes at Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Spotify. You guys have a good time. Thanks for stopping by. And you stay classy.
Oh yeah!